Okay, the time is 6:31, and the date is October 19, and welcome to the beginning of the Douglas Cultural Council meeting. This is going to be a short meeting. We just have a few things to go over, a couple of decisions to make. I have worked with the treasurer as well as the accountant at town, and we've worked on our annual report. We have $5,600 to be able to grant this year, so we'll be able to work with quite a bit of that. That won't be until after November 1st. They have to put, the Massachusetts Cultural Council has to put a book together. They call it a book, but it's online, and it shows you all the applications. Everything is online at this point. There's a new rule that they just posted where cultural councils are allowed to take 10 to 15% of that money and use it for their own project or their own things. And what I've been thinking about is with the concerts that we've been having, it's always been the same people applying, and we have been, I know Mary has been reaching out to people in the community. I've been reaching out to people. If I see people that I like, when I hear them, I give them, a card with the address of the website on it, and hopefully some of those people will apply. We won't know until then. But I would entertain a motion that we decide to think about, at the time of the meeting, putting aside the 10 to 15% so we can have some different types of music at our concerts. Anybody want to talk about that?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because we've had very similar people or the same people apply, that this would kind of open it up to more variety of types of music or other events, and then hopefully get more draw in from the community itself.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to move forward on this?
I will. I'll make a
Okay.
motion.
Anybody second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very small meeting, and it's a small motion making.
But
Okay.
it's not.
So that was good. The next thing that I'd like to talk about that's fairly short for discussion is where to have concerts. I just had been reached out to by the owner of the Douglas Farm and Orchards. He's built a beautiful Adirondack stage right in the middle of the apple orchard. It's handicapped accessible because you can drive your car right up to it. They have a porta potty there all summer. He has stated that he would put the advertisements in those brochures like Welcome to the Blackstone Valley type of things. So we'd get a lot more of the advertising that we've been wishing for, as opposed to us just putting it on Facebook, putting it in the newspapers, social web. Those are the only three that we've been able to come up with for the last few years. So it's kind of an interesting concept. He does have looks like a garage or a barn that's been cleared out, that if it did rain, we could still have it at the same venue,
That's nice too.
which was also kind of a problem this year when we had rain, when one of the bands came this year, as you recall. We ended up holding it at the Jenks store, and we didn't really have too many people coming, and that was a darn shame.
Yeah.
We had 2 acts that night, so that was money that we put out that wasn't very well used because of the fact that a lot of people
But that's
didn't
nice.
come.
It would be at the same place, so then people wouldn't be wondering where to go or have to look for that info. It would be same place.
And we can use their phone number also for like up-to-minute contact or
Oh,
something
cool.
like that. Does anybody have any questions about that or thoughts about that?
I think that would work. I was up there with my daughter last weekend. You know what you're talking about with the they had an event going on. They had a lot of chairs set out, and they had that that covered stage area.
How about parking?
They have a whole field.
Whole field,
In fact, they've
okay.
got the side there and then a path right to a field. Especially if it's summer, it's still, light out.
Yeah,
enough.
you could probably
They'd probably
have-
let you park in a closer field also for something like that.
They have plenty of acreage, and you could also park in the aisles of the apple trees.
Okay.
You could probably have 500 people there, and
Oh, wow.
they'd be able to fit them.
Mm.
Okay.
So that's not a problem. And I know that they were, I went to one of their events, and they were very nice about, like, some of the elderly people. They'd let them just drive up, right up to where they were sitting. And they do have chairs available. People can bring their own food and things like that. He had said if they wanted to come early, they could, like pick blueberries or walk around the orchard or whatever they wanted to do. There wouldn't be apples ready at that time.
No,
Right.
but at least
Right.
Yeah.
But they've got the animals out there. There were kids over checking out the animals, and my daughter and I went also, so yeah.
The pigs and the ducks and
Yeah,
the
and the
chickens and all
chickens
that
and-
stuff. So I think it kind of adds on to the flavor of the whole thing. I've noticed at these concerts that there's not a lot of children at them, and I think that would be a nice thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had talked about bringing back, what was the name of that performer that did the juggling? Henry, was
Henry
it?
the
Henry
Juggler?
the Juggler? He didn't apply last year, but he might be somebody that we might want to reach out to because he doesn't cost a heck of a lot, and that would be a good venue if there was going to be more kids at it.
Yeah.
So that might be something to think about when we meet in November. Yeah.
Sounds
So,
good.
I think maybe we should give it a try this year
Yeah.
because the last couple of years we've done it at the town common and it's a beautiful stage, but I just wonder if there's something holding people back from going to the common itself. Is it the bathroom? Is it the noise? I don't know.
But we'll try a different venue maybe and then see if that was
Yeah.
a variable that kind of held it back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what I went to with my daughter, it was a talk about Halloween things. But when we got there were probably, say, 70 people there.
Mhm.
And that would have all
Oh,
been
wow.
through probably Facebook.
Or their
Or when
advertising.
they were down at Oktoberfest, you'd stop by and they were giving out just little save the date
Yeah.
cards on
Mhm.
it.
Which they're there every day, so they
Yeah.
could, every time during, even during the summer at the farmer's market, they're there,
Yep.
so they could probably chat it up then too. I just think that, it's a lot less work for the cultural council to try to pull all this together if they're
Yeah,
gonna be
sure.
doing a lot of the
Yeah.
talking. you know.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
so I'll entertain a motion to vote for that.
Second now.
No, I can't do it. You have to
Oh.
first.
I first did.
You first it.
Then you can second.
You can
I'll
second it.
Small group, I'm getting all confused.
The Roberts Rules of Order done the cultural council way. Okay, I'll let them know about that. And the last thing that we need to discuss would be the public interest survey. We were a little late getting all of the details together, so it doesn't matter for this year's voting. As far as, we're supposed to put it on the website and then people can look at it. I have a feeling that it'll probably be fairly similar, but Mary saw some very interesting trends on it. She was the one that set up was it
I did it through Google, a Google survey.
a Google survey, and you did it through Facebook, and then we did some paper ones as well. So
Correct.
what did we see?
The biggest thing is that people don't seem to know that there is a cultural council or that we hold events or help fund events for the community.
Okay. There's something I could say about that. We could probably have the cable committee do a film of, like some of us talking about what the cultural council is, so we could get on that. That'd be one fix for that. And then also see if we can get some advertisement in the newspaper by some sort of interview. Mary and I have done those before.
And it was overwhelmingly that people hear about events that do happen in the community through word of mouth, Facebook.
So I think
those which
we need to revive the Douglas Cultural Council Facebook page that we
page.
started, because we didn't really have much to put on
at that point, right?
after we set it up. So, okay, so let's see if we can talk to the cable committee, get that. And then also the Facebook page. And then interview for newspaper. Any other ideas, anyone?
We don't have brochures, do we?
We do not.
I know whenever I dose in at the Jinx store, people just take brochures, sometimes kind of mindlessly, but
Yeah.
they do take them.
Does anybody have any idea about how much they cost? As far as petty cash that we could use on something like that, I think we have probably like maybe $60, $70.
I can look into it.
Yeah, so even if we did
Even if we do
something that was
paper
on
ones,
nice
we have-
paper,
Yeah,
but,
nice paper, set it up nicely and
Just get it printed.
just fold it, yeah. Print it and fold it.
or
I can
even-
also see if Holy Cross would do it, like a huge discount or something like that.
Okay, that would be great.
So we'd probably do that, what timing? Once we set a schedule, or for the
Well-
years, what would we want included on that?
Well, we definitely want to include some information about the cultural council, what we do, that type of thing. And then if we have anything set in stone, which the only ones that are gonna be set in stone are those concerts. Once we vote on everything in November and we send out our refusals to the ones we say no to, 2 weeks after that, then we can contact the ones that we say
scheduling.
yes to and schedule it right away. And as soon as we know those dates, those are set in stone. If we end up giving things to the library per se, they may have dates. And anything, if we give to the senior center, they have things like all the time, so we can just say, check the newspaper or something like that for that. That would work out great. I love that idea. So maybe we can flesh it out a little bit if we have any energy the night we do voting.
Sure.
But otherwise, we might have another meeting to talk about that and to work on setting it up. Alright. So there were other questions on there where they were asked what they would like to see. And you said there was some issues with that also, that people were saying they wanted things that didn't really fit into the cultural council's what's the word I'm looking for?
Ability, maybe?
The ability.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have hot rod races or anything down
Right,
Main
or
Street.
What?
What were some of the things somebody...
events within the forest, different nature things
Right,
that
the
are,
nature things.
revolve around the forest or what the forest has to offer. Like the Douglas Forest, not the forest in general. My computer's not working, so I have
The forest thing, some of that extra money that we have could be spent on that, but
and then historical things, which again, I don't know if that would be, if that would connect. And then again, a lot of people weren't sure what we do offer. So I think doing some kind of a video where we're explaining it or showing or really trying to put out there what we do would help people better actually answer what they do want, if it's not what we already do.
Right. I think we almost need to spend this year working on getting more out in the community, getting the word out so people know. And then next year doing another survey. You're supposed to only do it once every 3 years, but you can do it whenever you feel like it. And then get a better idea of what people really want. The forest and the historical things could be used with the extra 10 to 15%, but I would like to see how many people actually said they would like to see that. If it's like one person out of 100, then maybe it's not the best choice. It's, you know, it's hard to tell. It was overwhelming 3 years ago when we did the survey that people wanted to hear music. They wanted it outside, they wanted it in the summer. And that's kind of like where we went with that.
Because that's what they wanted. And this is overwhelmingly people are not sure.
I wonder why there was such a difference between this year and the other year.
I don't know, it's a good question. And there didn't seem to be any time that would be better for an event to occur. It was pretty much cut down even of weekdays, weeknights, summer, school year, weekends, day, weekend, night. I mean, it was split down the middle evenly with all the different time availabilities we put in.
Right.
History would be easy. I mean, I know DHS would love to do something with that. We always are trying to get folks over there for talks or stuff like that, if that's the kind of history thing like that.
See, the problem is all of these things are too late for them to apply to for this year.
Yeah.
The deadline was the 16th.
Sometimes they're free events there. Like we just get somebody from like the Blackstone Valley to come and give a talk or something like that.
Okay.
And they do it for free because we're part of the Blackstone
Yeah.
cultural.
Well, that may be something that we can hitch onto the farm too.
Yeah.
You know, I know that he had Kenny Warchel, the
From Waynesville, yep. The bee guy.
the bee guy, bee inspector, come and do his talk and things like that. So maybe we can hitch onto that, or we could ask like the library to host it or something like that, and that would be like a no cost for everybody.
Yeah.
If you could find out a little bit more about that,
Sure.
Dana, that would be great.
I know I've had people offer in the past, and I think that I think we feel kind of similarly there, that it's the same thing all the time that we're supposed to be doing, and it's the same 5, 10 people that show up. And so there's been some reluctance to keep doing those things.
Yeah. Well, as far as the cultural council, the last like historical things that we've had, there was some things that came to the high school. It was a woman. I'm trying to remember who she was. You know, she pretended she was one of the famous historical women
Oh,
in
yeah.
Worcester. Do you remember that one?
No, but I know of that.
I remember that, but and then earlier on in my tenure, there was somebody that came to the senior center and did like really old ghost stories, and that was like very exciting.
That's cool.
That turned out really
Was there
well.
somebody does that with like, that sounds familiar. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of decisions to make as far as spending 10 to 15% of our budget depending on what happens, you know, in November.
Yeah, see what we get.
Yep. But some free things also wouldn't be too bad either.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
At least, it gets the brand out there or whatever.
Yep.
People know.
Yep. That's good. So that's about it. That's all I really had for this evening. Anything else? Anybody? Any burning issues?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Anybody want to move to close the meeting?
I'll move.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Should I
Okay.
get the second?